The accepted view of global power is a hierarchy of nation-states, where world leaders walk the stage to negotiate the terms of our collective future. The United States and its G7 allies sit at the top of this traditional map, exercising control over global corporations and the world's energy markets. While these political borders appear absolute, they often obscure a parallel concentration of global power that ignores the map entirely. This is the superclass, a network of roughly 6,000 individuals who transition between high finance, defense, and government, operating largely outside the reach of elected legislatures. In this system, true sovereignty is determined by those who own and control invisible infrastructures across three critical fronts: debt, currency, and physical reality. The architecture of the current financial order was drafted in 1944, when the Bretton Woods Conference established institutions to promote global economic stability. Two primary entities were created to manage this modern infrastructure: the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund. While they offer vital financial support to developing nations, that assistance is tied to specific obligations. These obligations take the form of conditionalities and structural adjustment programs, which are mandatory for any government seeking funding. To receive these loans, nations must implement immediate austerity, rapidly privatize state-owned enterprises, and deregulate their domestic markets. Critics argue these economic models benefit Western multinational corporations while stripping local governments of the ability to protect their own citizens. Debt serves as a systemic trap, effectively removing a nation's sovereign right to determine its own economic and social priorities. While developing nations navigate debt, U.S.-sanctioned superpowers are building parallel financial systems to bypass American oversight. The primary tool in this resistance is the central bank digital currency, or CBDC. A CBDC is a state-controlled digital liability designed to grant governments absolute oversight and real-time surveillance of financial flows. China currently leads this transition with the digital renminbi, an infrastructure built to eventually displace global reliance on the U.S. dollar and the SWIFT system. Russia is advancing its own digital ruble project, specifically engineered to insulate its economy from the impact of international sanctions. The technical architecture of these systems uses a two-tier hybrid model. By connecting the central bank directly to commercial bank APIs and individual wallets, the state can monitor every transaction in real time, completely bypassing Western financial intermediaries. The technical compatibility between the Russian and Chinese models establishes the foundation for a multi-currency payment network that operates entirely outside of U.S. jurisdiction. If these digital currencies successfully scale, they will blind the U.S. Treasury, eliminating America's ability to enforce extraterritorial sanctions. Beyond financial ledgers, a new class of non-state actors is quietly securing ownership of the physical world. Modern tech oligarchs operate as company states, wielding private authority over infrastructures that resist traditional democratic regulation. This concentration of power mirrors the 17th century Dutch East India Company, which held sovereign rights to maintain armies and govern territory. Today's monopolies are colonizing finite global resources, securing control over physical land, water, and the submarine cables that carry the world's data. The growth of artificial intelligence has intensified this race, requiring massive physical investments in data centers, energy grids, and industrial cooling systems. Decades of government funding and light antitrust enforcement have made these tech giants too entrenched for nations to easily dismantle. Sovereignty now belongs to those who own the physical pipelines for AI and cloud computing, rather than the nations that depend on them. The neoliberal dream of the 1990s, which promised universal peace through trade and competition, has effectively collapsed. It has been replaced by a Hobbesian reality of autarky, aggressive reshoring, and violent coercion over the world's finite materials. Corporate and state superpowers aim for absolute monopolistic domination, treating global resources as finite prizes in a zero-sum game. The result is the hollow state, nations trapped by debt, forced into rival digital blocks, and dependent on private oligarchs for survival. The upcoming era of history will be dictated by the untouchable architects who own and control the world's invisible infrastructure.